Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from Aristocob.com here.
And together, the three of us, we are from Aristocob.com. I'm assuming that my wife is watching. So.
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
She
guys.
doesn't watch us.
Hi, gals.
She has better things
Hi,
to
you.
do.
We're glad to have you with us today. And welcome to Markwood's Breakfast Club. And we are going to be smoking some Hearth and Home Marble Cake. And this is a tobacco. I remember when I went to buy this, and I bought this. This was not gifted to us. I went to research some Virginias, just something that was, you know, a blend, not just a single Virginia, but
West.
basically a Virginia.
East. No, that's not one.
East Virginia? I don't think so.
I don't know what you found on Google when you were researching Virginia.
So this says our own Virginia-based crumble cake is a firmly pressed blend of bright and red Virginias. The flavor changes depending upon whether it is broken or sliced or rubbed out. And who blended this, my boy?
Me. Hey, our good buddy Russellette.
So we're going to crack into this tin and see what we think about it.
So are you going to pinch, pull, and twist? Should I
let's
and
let's see what
tweak
it looks like.
and...
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. So that is that's interesting. I think from the smell of that right now, I bet you someone gave this to us for a tobacco advent. That's familiar.
Yeah, we definitely have
It looks like something that
we definitely
Mike Miller or somebody sent us. Doesn't that seem familiar?
Yeah.
We'll have to check and see. Doesn't matter. It's what we're smoking.
If he sent it to us, though, it's because he didn't care for it.
That's not true. He sent us some stuff.
No, he said no. You're right. He does. He does. But the smell of this, how aromatic this is,
it's not at all aromatic. That is 100% Virginia. There's no casings. There's no topping. The thing about Virginias is Virginias have a fair amount of sugar in them, so it
smells like cherry syrup.
They can be sweet. So I'm thinking I'm going to break up a bit of this as it reaches the bottom of the bowl. I should probably do just the opposite because when they're pressed like this, they'll burn a long time.
It's harder to light, but it'll burn a long time.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'm going to break it up a bit.
You're not pinching, poking, and twisting?
Don't need to with this. That's usually like a Navy flake.
So what if you just put the wafer straight down? Can you smoke straight down the wafer?
No, that will not burn. You know, I'm smoking this in a Legend. This is like an ancient design, one of the most popular designs that Missouri Meerschaum sells. I rarely smoke this small of a pipe, but this tobacco will probably smoke for half an hour or more in a bowl this size.
I like to smoke small pipes because in my hands it makes me feel like a giant. Segway!
Speaking of a giant.
You're welcome for that.
Thank you. Joffre the Giant has left the building. For those of you who don't or haven't been following Joffre, he has now departed the North American continent and is either on his way or already in Brazil. So he and his family are there. They're moving down for a mission. So pretty exciting to do something make that big of a change. And I'm excited for Joffre, and we wish him all the best. And he's going to continue to blog. He's going to continue to do videos, but they're going to change a little bit because the Christian community down there is a bit more strict, and I hate to say judgmental, but in the sense that they kind of hold each other accountable for things that they haven't requested that others hold them accountable for. I'll call it judgmental. He's got to be careful what he does publicly down there. So
I would suspect that the community is a bit more tight-knit. So here, you piss these people off, and you just start going over here.
Was that a church over here?
Yeah, I think it's church, and you piss this church off, and you find a different one, a new one. It would be my guess that there's a more tight-knit Christian community. Perhaps I'm making wild assumptions.
We'll find out. We'll find out as we continue to watch. Now, this segues into yet another thing.
What? Is it the little Segways without the handles is being sued by the Segway?
Are they really?
Yeah.
Ooh, they haven't been describing themselves as Segways, have they?
No, but
People have been calling them that.
Segway seems to have a claim on the
patent.
The claim is the patent on the gyroscopic, basically gyroscope with wheels.
Hadn't heard that.
Yeah. So that's a Segway. Take it again.
Wow. So, one of the things that Joffre has done in order to support his ministry, he has set up a Patreon account. And I noticed, I don't know, probably over the course of the last year, an uptick in people that are setting up Patreon accounts. And so I've gone and I've investigated, and my initial reaction was very negative because the people that I was seeing doing it were people that had like 10 videos. They were low quality to begin with, and then there they are putting their hand out saying, hey, I want to buy a new router. Buy my router for me. Go over to Patreon and support me. No. But
I mean, why not?
I mean, you can ask.
If you like those 10 videos.
Anyway, so I've set myself up, as of today, I set myself up a Patreon account to be a patron. I'm not interested at this stage in holding out my hand.
Patreoning?
Yeah, being a creator. But I've already gone ahead and I'm sponsoring the 3 bloggers that I listen to their podcasts. You know what? I didn't check to see if Pat Flynn,
Rhett and Link,
has a Patreon. I should check that too. And I need to go check out Joffrey's too.
Yeah.
The whole thing, it spurred my going there. It slipped my mind. So Joffrey, I'm going to go check you out and see what you have to offer. But basically, what these folks are doing is there's, it's an old tradition, goes back centuries, where people of means could sponsor and be a patron to people that were craftspeople. So you think of the chapels, the churches, the artwork that was done, that was being paid for by the church or being paid for by some aristocrat, and that's how this whole concept began. But what you can do in the case of YouTubers who you feel like supporting, you can go there, you search for them, and then you make a commitment. It's an ongoing commitment. It's not like Kickstarter where you say, oh, I'll give you $10 if you're going to give me that cool looking coaster.
Could you make a one-time?
You could sponsor somebody, then as soon as you pay your first month, you could then cancel it. So in that sense, you could. But the way it's designed is that you're going to give them some ongoing support, and it could be as little as $1 every month. It could be an amount every time they post a video or every time they post a podcast. Excuse me. So 2 of the guys I sponsored with a monthly payment, and one of the podcasts I listen to that has 3 of my favorite woodworkers on it, I'm paying them every single time they produce a podcast, which is pretty much weekly. I get so much value from them. They have kept me company on more flights.
Yeah.
By the way, that podcast is called Making It. And the guys that are on that show also have their own YouTube channels. So we'll put some information in the doobly-doo for you to check those guys out. But I'm just curious about Patreon or crowdfunding. Have you participated in something like that, either as a patron or as a creator? And I know you absolutely have done all kinds of the Kickstarter campaigns. I've participated in a few of those. What all have you?
I think that I've only kickstarted 2 things.
Really?
Yeah.
You share a lot. To me.
I do.
Oh, here, Dad. Spend your money here.
No. You're right. I take that back. At least 3 things. And I've shared a couple of them on here. Tile. That's one of the Kickstarters for Tile, which is the little square device that uses Bluetooth to locate
anything you've attached it to.
Yeah, and
do you have any of those attached to your kids yet?
No. There are better versions of them that use GPS for kids. They're a bit more expensive. The limitation of Tile is it's only using Bluetooth, which only has a range of about 20 feet. And outside of that range, the way it works is it'll remember the last place it works with your phone. Your cell phone in the app remembers the last place that it saw the tile. So if you're walking down a hallway and the tile's there on the floor, it'll remember that as its last location. If you've lost something, it will also send out an invisible ping to all tile users, and their phones will be looking for a lost tile and will let you know if any phone has picked up a signal, which is fine. I mean, that's good. It's great if you're living in some place like New York. Great if you're living in a place with a lot of users. Here, not so much. So what it basically becomes is a $30 I can't find my keys in my house key fob, which you can get for $5, which is a button. So it was fine. My batteries died on mine. There are hacks that you can cut it open and replace the battery.
It's not intended to be replaced. It is not. So
the battery lasts about a year. And because it's using the Bluetooth on your phone, your battery on your phone is going down faster too. It's that low power Bluetooth, so it's not consuming a ton of power, but you still have to have your Bluetooth on.
Right.
That was one. I kickstarted something else that ends up being garbage. Similar to Tile has a similar function. You can attach it to things and you can find it. It also is supposed to have motion control. So you can program, it's got an app that you can program a few motion controls in. And with the motion controls, you can do things like take a picture, move forward or backwards in songs. It sounds really cool in practice. The app still hasn't worked. It won't synchronize with the device. So that was $30 down the tube. I did get the device. It's just it doesn't work. The one that's been most useful has been those tiny little brightly colored phone chargers, which I showed out on here, and that link I did send to you. To the iPhone and the
fast, super fast charging.
They are, and I keep them in my go bag, which I've shown before.
I tried to attach it to my keychain, and the magnets in it kept separating and connecting to my keys.
Right.
So I've got to keep it
great for
attached to my backpack. But still, it's so convenient to grab that.
Yeah.
And it's fast. So when I'm in an airport and they now have charging terminals throughout the airport, my cord I was using was 10 feet long. This thing is 3 inches long. So much
Here's
faster.
My electronics bag, which has my external battery charger, some hard drives, cables, Chromecast, a knife. Here are the chargers. I'll show you. We've got 2 of them stacked. So that's a micro SD, and that one's a iPhone.
Connect to themselves magnetically. That one's not connecting. Why is? Oh, there it is. And so they connect and can go around something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have micro USB things? I guess e-cigs.
E-cigs, Chromecast. My battery pack is a couple of things. My tablet. I've got a Nexus tablet.
Okay.
Couple of things.
So
it's just always nice to have around.
So I mean, what do you think about stuff like Patreon? You know, where there's not a physical thing you're going to receive. You're not supporting an inventor. Instead, you are paying for entertainment or information that you're otherwise getting free. You're watching it on YouTube, cost you nothing. You're sitting through an ad, which potentially pays the creator as well to go and pay out of your pocket. How do you feel about that?
I think it's awesome. I think that... So, and here's why I kind of came back with, they only have 10 videos. So what? If they have people that are willing to support them, and they've only created 10 videos, then let the people support them. You know, YouTube money is barely money at all. You have to have billions of videos to have any sort of revenue from YouTube directly. If someone creates a television show that you enjoy, you buy that cable package, right? You pay cable for that. If someone creates a movie you think you'll like, you'll pay to go see that movie.
And then you buy the DVD.
And then you buy the DVD.
Download.
Right. Or if you right now, iTunes, or Netflix. All those are built upon consumable media. That
How
people
many
create.
times have I bought ELOs out of the blue?
That's right.
Oh my gosh, I've bought it on vinyl, I've bought it on cassette, I've bought it on CD, I've bought it on iTunes as MP3. At least a couple times I bought the DVD because I wore, or CD because I wore them out.
Right. So, the motivation for spending that kind of money, there's several motivators. First, some people choose to support creators of content that they enjoy so that the creators can have more time and more freedom to create good content.
Right.
There was a great video of a guy who is in the Magic the Gathering, the card game community, made brilliant videos apparently about cards and strategies and all sorts of stuff. And he was a professor at a university, and he came out and he said, "Look, guys, I'm really embarrassed by this, but the reality of my circumstance is I either need to stop making 3 videos a week, or he said I either need to stop making 3 videos a week, or
got to monetize it somehow."
And I mean he was genuinely, he didn't even want to ask the question, but he said,
"Right,
I'm going to ask the question because I love this, but otherwise I'm going to have to take on an extra class. I just had a baby, I'm going to have to take an extra class. So here's what I can do." And he set it up in such a way that if he gets so much support that he will tell his college, his university, that he's going to teach 1 fewer class to allow him to make even more videos. And it just blew out of the water. That community gathered around him, said, "Look, we love your videos. Do this. Take the time. Spend time with your family. Make great content."
See, I don't know. I was looking at some stats the other day. Great video channel that's talking about what do YouTubers earn, and they were talking about Postmodern Jukebox. And these are guys that put out a video that when they put it out that week, they're going to get hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million views. And they say that those guys, when they put out a new video, will make about $1,200. What? I mean, this is on the ad revenue that runs on their channel through YouTube.
Sure.
The only way they can afford to do it is through Patreon
or iTunes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they sell their music.
And I've been giving a lot of thought to my woodworking channel, which this winter I plan on. No, the other one.
Wood Wishes.
I plan on stepping up my activity on that, but as I look at the other channels that are doing similar things, and I look at the viewership they have, it either is not going to be a money-generating activity, or you got to do things like taking in sponsors. And so now every time you do a video, you're talking about, this is the glue that I use, and this is the saw that I use.
The glue's so great.
Yeah. Or you go to something like Patreon, where the people who watch your channel and don't want to see you bombarded with
ads.
Well, not just ads, but those in-video ads. There's a couple of them. I have to tell you, there are some channels that I dearly love, but since they've taken on sponsors, and I know they have to make it worth their while, I feel like they've sold their soul.
Looking at you, Kip K. I'll call you out. He's on Patreon now. You would hope that things would get better. They haven't.
Harry's Razors, and what is the other? The Audible books and
Audible. I don't mind Audible commercials when they're done well, because here's the thing:
when somebody talks about a book that they've enjoyed listening to, and they're sharing the book, and they say, "Hey, you can get a free whatever," then okay, I like that.
Audible's pretty cool. In fact, I've been listening to The Martian by Andy Weir. Now a major motion picture. You should check it out. Audible.com. We're not a sponsor.
Do you have an account there?
No, it is an awesome book, though. It's awesome. Been listening to it. My commute to work.
Now, the other option available to a content creator is they can do basically a paid-per-view channel. So maybe I do some videos, and here's the thing. I'm talking specifically about shopsmith videos. Woodworking videos are going to attract woodworkers. That's going to be a pretty decent group of people, a pretty decent quantity of people. But when you start specifying down to the users of one particular tool, folks are not going to watch that like they would another, how to cut dovetails on your, biscuit joiner, for example. I made that up.
I like how to eat biscuits.
Near a jointer. So one option would be to do maybe some half-hour instructional videos that you pay $1.99 to watch, and just do that on a separate paid channel, as opposed to, doing a Patreon type of a deal. And again, so I have a very small audience, but that audience is supporting. I don't know. I'm just thinking all this through, because at some point my wife is going to say, "You're going to the shop to shoot another video."
Right.
And
Already says that.
I know, so it's got to be worth her while too.
Yeah, there's one website, one web channel, Rooster Teeth, that I follow a lot of their stuff. It's a gaming website. They are behind the Red versus Blue internet series based in Halo, the game. Any nerds know what I'm talking about.
The rest of us have just been left.
They have a. That's fine. It's just pretend I'm talking about woodworking.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember this.
They have a website, and they have sponsorships on their website. Now they do special things for sponsors. They have a special discussion board and badges and all sorts of stuff. But one of the things they do is they have sponsor-only videos, and their sponsors get early access to things, and the sponsors get like they do a live webcast, a live podcast. And the sponsors are the only ones that can watch it live. So, and the sponsorship is some ridiculously low, like $8 a year. But for their sponsors, they're doing all these special things. Then the podcast does get released. It gets released a few days later on YouTube. Some of the videos remain sponsor-only videos, sponsor-only content, while the majority of what they have ends up being released to the public later. So, there's value in being a sponsor there, above and beyond the fact that people that sponsor them are people that want to see them continue making great content.
Right. So I guess that's kind of the question here. What, if anything, do you do with crowdfunding? And let me also throw one last plug in to Joffre. Let's go sponsor him. Let's help him and his family out as they participate in their mission down in Brazil. So by the time this airs, I will be a sponsor of Joffre's. He's going to get a buck a month, whether he wants it or not.
Whoa! Whoa! And will you watch his videos?
I embarrassed myself the other night on Periscope because I hadn't been watching his videos. There are so many videos in my feed that I just don't have time to watch. I've made this complaint before. I just can't stay on top of stuff. And he made some comment about, before we move. And he lives in South Carolina, just across the border. I've driven past his exit multiple times and have even thought on a couple of occasions, I should get in touch with Joffre, on my way down to Atlanta. We should go eat some barbecue and smoke a pipe. And it was, I always put it off to the next time, and now there will be no next time. So there's another lesson in there for us. But anyway, we'll link to his Patreon page. You should do this. It's kind of cool. It's easy. It's cheap. Get one less Starbucks a month, and that'll really help his family. They can buy Starbucks down in Brazil.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm assuming it's probably really good coffee in Brazil.
Not Starbucks.
Probably not.
Starbucks, they have it imported in from New England.
Oh, some Connecticut shade.
And they still spell your
coffee.
name wrong.
Yeah. Hose.
That's right. All right.
Guys, make it a great week. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.